evening, Wildcats. We are here tonight with week 2 of the Hearthstone Battlegrounds Brawl. We've got tonight Yeet and Admiral queuing up, getting ready to jump in here in just a little bit for week 2 of the Brawl. If you tuned in last week for the Brawl, you will know a little bit what's going on. If you haven't, well, be ready for some excitement. It's a lot of fun. It's really great. I am Zathras, and I will be talking you through all of the strategic plays that we have going on tonight. So, quick recap of the gameplay. 8 players enter the arena. Each select a special hero that has special powers that they can use throughout the brawl. Every turn, you will have 2 phases. Phase 1 is where you buy minions. You start developing your side of the board. Then in phase 2, you go into the Battlegrounds and you take those minions and they fight each other. You have no control. They attack randomly unless there's a taunt, then they attack the taunt first. And they battle it out until either there are no minions left or there are minions only on your side or your opponent's side. And then all of that minion damage is added up based on the value of the specific minions that are left, and then you take damage, or you deal damage, or you take no damage because it was a tie. Then the next turn, you do that all over again. You keep the minions you had before, and you buy new minions, or you sell minions to get new minions, or you go through a lot of things to make your board as tough as possible, so that at the end, you are the last player standing. There are points attributed at the end for any of the for your rankings. We'll go through 2 rounds tonight, and so after the first round, stick around, and we will be back with the second one. So it's really exciting. We're all queued up tonight to be able to show both Yeet and the Admiral, who are competing tonight. They will be playing at the same time. They are not working together. They are working together, but they are not playing together like your traditional Hearthstone stream. They aren't sitting around one computer. They are each on their own computer. They are talking about the things that they have, the type of people that they're facing. There is a chance that at some point they will have to battle each other. That is part of the course. But at the end, the ideal scenario is for Yeet and the Admiral to both end up on top and be ranked number 1 and number 2. That'll get us the most points. So there you have it. That is Hearthstone Battlegrounds Brawl. It's super exciting. We are going to jump right into the action as soon as the players all get settled. We just recently got the sheet of who is going to be in which teams, and they will They are loading that up and getting ready to go. So we are going to go to a quick break while they get queued up, and we will be right back with round 1. right, here we go. We are loading in. On the top, we have the man himself, Yeet, who not only does he play on the regular Hearthstone team, not only is he the ACU Esports Smash captain, but also he is on the Battlegrounds team. And tonight, he's coming up on top. We'll see what hero he selects from Jiraxis, Ragnaros, or Ticketus. Down at the bottom, we have the Admiral. You may recognize him from casting with me on Monday nights, where you should definitely tune in for our regular matches. But he is picking up the Malagos this time. Oh, let me move my mouse there. That was in the way. All right. So round one is all about just grabbing your first minion. Ideally, you want something that you might be able to stick around with, but that's not necessarily required. You're really you need something because there's no point in doing nothing. Round two is really where you're gonna decide whether or not you're gonna go in with a theme or you're gonna go ahead and upgrade your tavern tier, and start moving ahead there. All right, round one, we've got a couple of bots against each other. In fact, round one, that's when you like to see each other. That was actually, in case you didn't catch that, that was Yeet against the Admiral, getting that attack against each other out of the way. It does look like they are coming into this round with a little bit of advantage, that they can't get 7th or 8th place because there are 6 spots available. It looks like one of the teams may not have shown tonight, and so they are playing with a group of 6 as it stands. All right, so we see the tavern tier up from the Admiral and Yeet, both going ahead and jumping into tier 2 minions. Turn 2 is a great time for that. It costs 4, you have 4 gold. It's right on curve. Unless there's a really good minion that you just cannot pass up on the board, you generally don't want to pass that up. All right, we're going to see a win here from the Admiral and a loss here from Yeet. Early on, though, those really aren't what matter. Right now, you're still building boards. Those little bits of damage aren't really going to make or break you long term. The Admiral has the option here to start diving into mechs. He also, so he decides to use the Malagos hero power. So let's talk about that for a second. That is Arcane Alteration. That says, hey, I get to replace one of these with something else. Now looking at this, the Admiral may decide that he's going to go ahead and go Pirates. He doesn't. He's going to jump into the mechs. He likes the mechs. And pulls out the Harvester and goes from there. Meanwhile, Yeet up at the top, also pulling out a Harvester, but has the makings, the beginnings, the very early stages of what might be an Elemental deck. Now, it must be disappointing to Yeet right now, I will say. So Yeet's big thing is give him Murlocs, and he will win. Murlocs are his jam. And this is the 3rd round in a row, both rounds last week and this one, where Murlocs are unavailable. So there are 3 types of minions that will be unavailable in each match. So there's constant transition. You can't just pick one thing and always go with that. And in this case, Beasts, Murlocs, and Dragons are unavailable. So you see Admiral jumping in with these mechs, though doesn't really have many options here on the board for him to grab. Yeet, I think I like the take of this other party elemental here. Having 2 puts you 1 closer to having 3. 3 is huge in this game. With 3 minions on 3 of a minion, they combine, and by their powers combined, they become twice as good. I know it seems strange that 3 make 2, but 2 is really useful. So we see the freeze here. So he's going to hold on to that previous board. Yeet is. Meanwhile, um, so this is a clever play from them. They went ahead and took advantage of the situation to make sure that they end up with a tie here, since they're both fighting each other. Since there are only 6 players, they are going to fight each other more often than they would normally. And so both of them calculating that, making sure neither of them take any extra damage that they don't need to. But making sure there's still a clear there, because Yeet is looking to kill minions. He's got a fancy little quest here. That is his Ragnaros hero power, Die Insects. After you kill 25 minions, which he has 18 left, he gets Sulfuros. What Sulfuros says is it is another passive ability that at the end of each round, both your far left and your far right minions get +3/+3 permanently. So every round, you're going to start buffing those left and right minions, and that's super huge. So he wants to be killing as many minions as possible. Meanwhile, the Admiral up here going deeper into these mechs. He's got these 2 Harvest Walkers. Now, there's a question here. Does he go ahead? I don't know. Maybe do you ever freeze the board here to grab this Khadgar? He's got a couple things that summon, and having them summon more is more better. I think, though, long term, he may not be that interested in those summons. He's really just dipping his toe in here and is looking to move forward. Okay, we're going to see a loss here from the Admiral, and a probable loss, possible tie here on the top with Yeet. And 10 damage coming in there. Now that's a pretty sizable chunk there. Not really what you want to see. All right, this 3/2 elemental here, I think is really nice. A really good pickup here. I think he's nope. He disagrees with me completely. He doesn't want the 3/2. That's usually a staple within the mech deck, but he may be looking for something else. Yeet, on the other hand, is starting to load up his board with these elementals. You can see them starting to buff each other. He's got these 2 party elementals as well as these 2 Smoggers. And these 2 Smoggers are great because one day those 2 Smoggers are likely to become 3 Smoggers, which will be actually a double Smogger, and will generate even more value on board. Same with these party elementals. Ideally, those will eventually come together. If I'm Yeet here, though, I'm looking to start moving up the ladder here. I've got some established party elementals here, but I really want to be jumping up the ladder, moving into tier 4, especially where I can start getting Major Domo Executus on the board and start rotating out these elementals as quickly as possible. You can see the Major Domo already on board for Yeet's opponent here. You can see how it's already providing that value. Yeet really needs to dive into that and get that going. On the top here, the Admiral, also in a rough situation here. Going down to this pirate team from Patches here.
The battle is really raging out there.
All right, Yeet and the Admiral going against each other once again. So you know right now they're talking to each other and trying to determine what's the best path where they can gain a lot of value this turn without hurting each other. Ideally, they would like to end this in a tie where neither of them take extra damage. This is where the communication happens. This is where it's important to talk to each other and make sure that your board ordering lines up so that you know what's going to attack what things, where your taunts lie. I don't hate grabbing this pirate here. There's nothing really great on the board. And so what you're doing is you're basically taking a loan. Like right now, this turn, you don't care about developing as much. But with this pirate, you're taking a loan from this turn to next turn so that you can develop 3 3 additional coins on next turn. I like Yeet's patience here, holding this water droplet. He could play it and pull out this the molten here, but right now he doesn't care about winning next turn. So he goes ahead and leaves the frozen minion on board, leaves the water droplet in his hand. That water droplet will provide more value next time. So Yeet gonna win this particular round, but the idea, the goal here is to kill as many things. And these minions generating more minions is super valuable to Yeet here, because he's just generated all the minions he needs to get his Sulfurous online. And now it is go time for Ragnaros. Now he starts generating those significantly more powerful minions turn after turn. And man, this hand right here for Yeet is super nice. You've got 3 elementals, just easy, quick grabs here. I think what you do is you drop the Molten first, throw away. I think you drop them. Yeah, you want to drop the Molten first. There we go. Molten first, then you throw away the mech, and you start cycling these things in. And that is fantastic. So we'll see this here to just buff the board. Actually, leaving that on board, I actually like even as well. So right now he's got 3 two of a kinds, and so he's got a good chance of finding that third one. Meanwhile, on the bottom over here, we've got the Admiral picking up a Master of Realities that you wish you could trade these. The Tavern Tempest or the Master of Realities would be fantastic for Yeet right now. But he's going to go ahead and put that on. That's just another taunt in the way. He is going against the last place person here, which is a good sign. If they are doing poorly, there's a decent enough chance that you might be in a better position to do well against them. Meanwhile, you see those buffs starting to come in from the Ragnaros. It still looks like a decent chance for a loss here for the Admiral, for Yeet. It's a definite loss for the Admiral here. In fact, there's a 95% chance that the Admiral goes out this turn, at which point we would be just jumping over to Yeet. So we're hoping that not enough sticks on the board. It does look like there's enough on this board, though, that the Admiral is just barely going to be taken out, leaving Yeet to his lonesome to work his way up this ladder from fairly low health here. He's going to need to start making some quick progress.
There are 8 players, but only...
All right. You see him cycling, excited to see that 3 of a kind there. I think you'd go ahead and you grab that. All right, you drop that up. See what you can pull out of this. None of those are really super exciting. He would really have been hoping to see something like a Master of Realities, Nomi Kitchen Nightmare, Tavern Tempest. Any of those would have been exciting things to see on the board. I don't feel like you play this. I think you hold here. Go ahead and buff your elementals on the left and right. That's going to do... Oh, you're not seeing the whole thing. Let me jump over to that. All right, so, yeah, I think that what you're doing here is you leave this... you're going to buff the elemental on the left, which hopefully can do some good damage to the Chinvala here. Otherwise, this may be a quick out ECU in round 1 this week. Ooh, that is what you want to see. We got a 99.6% for Yeet to take this round. So being at 4 health here is not necessarily the end of the world. Yeet going ahead and taking this round against the number 1 player. He's going to get some chip damage in and move on. giving him an opportunity to continue developing these elementals. I kind of think what you do here is you refresh, see if there's anything juicy, and if not, you go ahead. That said, you might go ahead and upgrade and then refresh. That just doesn't give you many options long term. He's going to go start digging. There's what he's looking for. That molten rock is exactly it. Go ahead and find the kitchen nightmare himself. It's fantastic. He can go ahead and play that. Probably drop out the Smogger here. When you sell a minion, it increases the chance that you find another one, and those Smoggers can be super valuable. So go ahead and drop the Smogger he has, and which will allow him to play the new Smogger. Which will buff future elementals that come here. So, yeah, I could have gone either way, either the big taunt or the big minion on the left. I think, honestly, in the future, I might favor buffing the taunt minion over the damage minion, because at the end of the game, you want to be doing as much damage as possible. And the more things you can kill through attrition from your taunt minion, the better off you are. Fortunately, here, this is just a rough battle. He's got a tiny percentage of chance. Tiny percentage of chance. He's just not going to be here, unfortunately. So ACU going to go out. Piece of glory there. We got what we needed pretty late on. Had we been able to stick through it, and part of that I think is a little bit of roughness around having 6 players. When you have 6 players like that, if 1 or 2 of them are strong, you have significantly more chances to run into those, as opposed to the dilution, where if that's spread out, you have a chance of playing someone else that lets you survive another round, and that next round gives you the power you need to survive against that more powerful opponent that you might have lost too early on. Again, the Admiral playing against themselves, and so interesting first round. We will take a quick break here. Don't go away. Once they finish playing off those last 4 places, they will queue up and play a second round with that same set of people, and we will be right back to take a look at that. And for Yeet's sake, let's all cross our fingers for Murlocs, because I want to hold Yeet to it. He says he'll get first place every time if you give him Murlocs and Brand Bronzebeard. So let's hope. Okay, we are back, and we are excited to jump in here in just a second. We are waiting for them to queue in. We did get to see the end. I walked over and took a look at the end of that particular match. It came down to the Chinvala on one side with a elemental board, as one might expect from Chinvala, and a Patches pirate board. And the Chinvala clutched it with a amazing set of Mega Wind Fury, Divine Shield, massive minions. But some really clever plays by the Patches pirate, who was diving in with a poison minion. So he actually sold some of his bigger minions to get some poison out on the board in hopes that they get key massive minions out of the way. Unfortunately, there were also two little rags in play, and in the end, that just wasn't enough to land the victory for the pirate. So Chinvala taking that win. They are queuing up. I'm going to be diving into round 2 tonight. So quick recap if you are just joining us. Round 1, ACU did end up going out pretty early on. We had an attempted mech build by the Admiral that never really gained traction. Meanwhile, Yeet started to put together the beginnings of a really nice elemental build, but just couldn't stick it in time to clutch out that victory. Looks like they are still preparing for this next round. So what we're hoping for right now, let's be honest, what we are really hoping for is Murlocs. I really need to put Yeet to the test tonight. We have been told that if we get Murlocs, Yeet will go Murlocs, and Yeet will win with Murlocs. And I'm going to be honest, Murlocs is really nice right now. Murlocs has especially if you get the SI Sefin, that's SEFIN, haha, nice pun. The SI Sefin is Avenger 3, I believe. Give one of your Murlocs poison permanently. So those massive minions, who cares? I will kill them immediately because I have poison. So it's really nice to get those early on. We're looking forward to Murlocs. We're hoping that finally lands. It would be really amazing if we go 4 rounds without being able to play Murlocs tonight. It looks like they are getting ready to dive in, so I am going to take a look here, and we will get things loaded over. All right, we got George, Greybow, Patchwork, and Zyrella for the Admiral here. And Chinvala, Millicent Manastorm, not to be confused with Millhouse, her ex, I guess. Nozdormu, King Mukla. So it'll be interesting to see here. I think Greybow is a great pick from the option from the Admiral here, especially depending on what's available. I'll have to check that. Looks like no Murlocs. You are kidding me. Okay. We just can't get the Murloc. So what we got here is we've got George the Fallen for the Admiral. He can spend 2 mana to give a friendly minion Divine Shield. Meanwhile, Chinvala down here, really nice. After you play 3 elementals, reduce the cost of upgrading Bob's Tavern by 3. What is really sick about that is also the first play of this Elemental, because he's played 1. If he sells this, he gets another one for free. So this is one of those scenarios, one of those rare scenarios. If he can find an Elemental in the next hand, then he goes ahead and grabs it. He doesn't upgrade. He just grabs it. And there it is. He can grab that Elemental, sell this Elemental, drop it in, and have enough in his hand to upgrade. So he can actually get the upgrade with a minion on board, with two minions of the same flavor on board, and have a free refresh afterwards. There's not. It'd be hard to argue with that. I say that, but we will see if he argues with me on that. He's arguing with me. He has upgraded his tavern instead of going for that. Maybe he's looking to take the upgrade for next round. That I don't hate that entirely either. He's got the upgrade now. He's going to look for another elemental, and does not find one, unfortunately. Right here, what he's looking for is a molten rock, an early molten rock or party elemental. I don't even hate taking one of these, or both. Sure. Nope. Just take the one. I don't know if I upgrade my tavern yet. I honestly don't know if I refresh or freeze. Maybe if you freeze, you get one free next turn, but that's all you get. Your refreshes you don't get double again. So you could pull it, refresh, pull it, upgrade, refresh. I guess I don't know. So he's not going to freeze. He's not going to refresh. He's going to let it go. This is a pretty wide board here for this Silas Darkmoon. So we're going to have to keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, over here on the bottom, the Admiral still hasn't decided what he's going to be doing. He's got a mech out. He's got a couple beasts. He really needs to stick something here. So it looks like he's thinking mech again. That didn't work out long term for him last round, but maybe we can see something a little better here. We do see the upgrade from Yi here. Now, interesting, he's decided that his elementals that he had on board were not worth it. They weren't worth keeping around, which I kind of agree. They weren't providing value. Even if he does switch back to elementals, right now having the beasts has a better chance of getting him farther. So he has upgraded to the Tavern level 3, and so we'll see where this goes. All right. Meanwhile, the Admiral does take a win here against the Vol'jin. So we start seeing a board come together a little bit for the Admiral here. Yeet still not saying anything super exciting. He's going to go ahead and take this Rat Pack, which theoretically can pair well with the Hyena. Thinking about the Smogger here, you always, you have to think about going back into elementals when you're playing Chinvala, because otherwise your hero power is not doing anything. Your hero power is useless if you aren't also cycling in these elementals. Even if you just are playing them to start reducing tavern cost, I mean, I don't hate that completely. So he's going to go ahead and save this board. It looks like he is committing to the beasts here because he's going to see that big rat available for him. Meanwhile, a wider board coming in here. No really fancy mechs here. We've got kind of a menagerie for George the Fallen here for the Admiral. But each thing has its own value and its own power to it. We do see a good win chance here going against this wide board Silas. He does have his own wide board at this point, able to clutch out that win. No such luck for Yeet, though. I'm going to take another loss here against the Gale Wing there. I can never remember the name of that Griffin, Gale Wing, which is currently the top tier hero available in Hearthstone Battlegrounds. I mean, there's always some argument to that. All right, gonna go ahead and pick up the Deflectobot here. Now, positioning is important here. Ideally, you want to make sure the Deflectobot is to the left of that Harvester, who's going to generate the extra, as well as, I guess, the Mummy, who's going to generate the extra minions for you to gain that thing. I almost feel like you might want to move the Deflectobot a little farther left. That gets its, because you want it to shed its, take full advantage of using the Divine Shield, shedding it, and then putting it back on. Yeet on the top, developing out a little more on this Beasts board here. Now, one of the controversial things here is, do you ever pull in the Khadgar? Because Khadgar would make these death rattles here that summon minions, summon twice as many. Which in a situation like this, when you're getting the value from the hyena, can be super important. We do see all things coming down to these 3 microbots for Vol'jin coming in and taking the victory there. Meanwhile, another good chance at a loss here. Ooh, that just puts a whole bunch of things to take more damage on the board there at the end. That's 15 damage. That's gotta hurt. All right, I think it's time to trade in your kitty cat. The kitty cat's not going to help you anymore. So, dropping the kitty cat, putting it on. Honestly, I kind of like dropping it on the bomb, maybe, or the micro machine. I don't know that you take this 2-1. It's a mech, yeah, but it is a low tier mech that's not really going to provide you a lot of value. So I think you keep on cycling. Meanwhile, Yeet starting to develop more of these beasts here. He's all in on these beasts, and he does find a Bird Bunny. Now, Bird Bunny is huge. Is a massive pickup here for Yeet. Bird Bunny can turn the tide pretty quickly. Every time something dies, all of his beasts get +1/+1. And when they are generating new things to get +1/+1 and create +1/+1, that is super exciting to see. The goal, what you don't want to see here, though, is that Bird Bunny go out early. There you go. You can start to see the value. There goes the Bird Bunny. It did generate lots of value, though, ahead of time, which is really nice. We even get a nice, cute little turtle. With Yeet taking his, I think, first win here in this round. Meanwhile, up on the top, or on the bottom, Admiral taking a victory against Vol'jin here. And both of them starting to look a little better as they move along. I do like the fact that the Admiral is starting to take full advantage of these Divine Shields. Early on, he was really trying to just get stuff out there. Now he can start putting these Divine Shields on. And a Divine Shield blocks an attack. And the more attacks you block, the more damage you can do, and the less things die. Yep, I think you grab the leaper here. Ooh, you freeze this board. You absolutely 100% freeze this board. Getting a double leaper here. In fact, you ideally what you do is you freeze this board. Next turn you sell your taunt probably, or maybe your 3/1 would give something Divine Shield. You're handing out Divine Shield anyways. So he's going to go ahead and drop that early. I don't hate that, and that lets him pick up the second leaper, which he will hold because unfortunately he can't play that. Like ideally you want to play that and then buy the third and then play, but he can't do that in this scenario unless he sells something first. Still, though, not likely to be able to pull ahead from this particular battle here. We see going a variety route here from the Master Win here. Meanwhile, Yeet facing a bird buddy of his own does finally get the kill off on it, but that'll leave one thing up and taking a little more damage. Yeet can't afford another loss like that. He's going to need to, honestly, he needs to find the third of these rats, maybe two of these things. Well, another bird buddy can't help either. It can't hurt either. None of these are really what he is hoping for, though. Ooh, that is what he's hoping for, though. The question is, how do you get it? I think you sell the taunt. Hope that you get a nice beast here. No really good beasts, but Zap Slywick can do some fancy magic. The special fancy magic of Zap is that Zap will always attack the lowest health minion, and he has Wind Fury. A lot of boards. So look at this one, for example. If he were going against himself here, the first thing Zap would do is pop, I guess, the rats. But a lot of times there are low health minions that are providing significant buffs to the high health minions. So the Zap has a good chance of being able to deal with that. If I take a look here at previous board of Master Win, that Zap is likely to not actually be quite as effective as we might hope early on. No, we do see some value there, so that's good. Still not a high win chance for Yeet here. Also not a high win chance for the Admiral, unfortunately. It's really going to be down to what's hitting what first. Okay, that's going to be a good chunk of damage, but not quite enough to take the Admiral out. We are going to transition over, though, and that isn't helpful at all. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right, so we can watch just the Admiral here. You can see some of the things he has at his disposal. He is only on Tavern Tier 4. He's going to pull another Leaper here to start buffing up these minions. I don't hate this Mechana Tank. It can be really useful. I do like going ahead and putting that shield on it. I kind of think you freeze this board and hope to grab that Deflect Bot and grab a second one. That would be really convenient. You are going against Gale Wing here. There's a good chance that they have all the things. So Gale Wing is really special. Its hero power lets you choose from 3 quests. The first quest gives, I believe, minions a buff like 1/1 or something like that on the next turn. The next one after 2 turns, or after 3 turns, you discover a minion of your tavern tier. So you spend those 3 turns getting up your tavern tier, and then you get one for free, and you get to discover it. So there's a high chance that it is something that you want. Like a beast. I don't know. That's a good thing that you could get here. So right now we're hoping to hit that, to target that bird buddy, because he's just generating value like nobody's business. But he's just a sly bird bunny. He is not letting anybody land. There we go. Unfortunately, that might be a little too late as these toads start leaping across the board. And I think that is going to be it with the Admiral going out. So I was in the middle. Galewing's third option is after 5 turns, reduce the cost of your tavern tier by 5. You usually don't go there. You usually go for route 3. All right. So that's going to be it for us tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We will hopefully be back next week with even better. I know it's hard to get better than that. No, it is definitely easier to get better. Easy to get better than that. We're gonna get better than that, and we're gonna see some great Hearthstone next week in Battlegrounds. But be sure to tune in Monday. Our regular Hearthstone team with Yeet and See the Creator and Smixon, all doing a great job in that tournament, winning their last round pretty handily. Looking forward to more wins from that team throughout the season. So Monday, Hearthstone. But before we get to Monday, we've got Friday. And you know what Friday is. Friday is Smash. And so you should definitely tune in for Smash. Then we'll see Hearthstone on Monday with probably Rocket League. And then Wednesday, more Hearthstone Battlegrounds. Y'all have a great night. And in the meantime, go Wildcats.